So, y'all know how I feel about ta-nehisi coach. Y'all know how I feel about ta-nehisi coach. I'm just gonna play this video real quick that Marvel put out not too long ago. He's by far responsible for the absolute worst rendition of Black Panther in terms of a book that we've ever got. Period. Now, this was a post talking about. They said that issue 25 ending his supposed legendary. They're calling it legendary Black Panther run, which is again by far the absolute worst run. We've covered it on this channel. I'm not gonna sit up and bore y'all to death with all of that information again. Definitely when it first came out, we were talking about it a lot. Here's when he looked like Batman for a little bit, but we've talked about the intergalactic Wakanda, the fact that it didn't make any fucking sense. This moronic idea that these guys were just sitting on the fucking had this space Wakanda shit going on, and Black Panther doesn't know that he's a king and doesn't know he was fucking retarded, and he was responsible for this, and they flat out said he's redefined the Black Panther mythos, and it's not been for the better. But there's an instance here which goes to show how fucking delusional these people are, but more importantly how Access Media, why they act the way that they act, and that is that they co-sign dumb shit, right? They co-sign dumb, and now this game-changing run comes to this monumental conclusion. No, it's not. Yeah, it's game-changing, but it sucks. But Access Media here, you're gonna see some comments that are just all out fucking hilarious. A deep, interesting cast of characters. No, they just changed a lot of the characters up. And it didn't fucking make sense again. Vox is all over it. What does Vox have to say? I know you guys can't see it. I'm sorry. Vox says it's brilliant, political, human. And they're bragging about this dumb shit. Wildly different and compelling. Just because it's wildly different doesn't mean that it's compelling. So I'm glad that they said it is wildly different and it fucking sucks. But this is like so detached. Black Panther, I know these didn't do really well, definitely as from the sales wise, as these continued to kind of the Black Panther run continued to go. It was extending way too long. It should have been ended. It was dead on arrival, really, but it should have been ended a long time. But you saw the Access Media's, your typical players when it came to the IGNs, the Voxes of the world, and whatever, and those are the people that they get to like say, hey, co-sign what it is that we say. And you wonder, like, how can they be so detached from the actual audience? Well, they want the access, guys. I know people don't understand what Access Media is, but Access Media are people that, whether it's a direct promise, whether it's a contractual promise, whether it's like kind of something that's like the unspoken thing, it's a thing nonetheless. And what that is people that are part of these media brands and media figures that want literal access. Why we call them Access Media. They want access to like your company, right? So you get something like Marvel. Definitely if you I don't want to say, I'm not even going to use the J word because they're not journalists. But if you want to be able to have access to the movies, right? You see how again sometimes they're so detached. We're talking about comic book movies in particular, but how they can be so detached from the reality of the situation and their assessment. And you see like the Rotten Tomatoes of the world, and like they could just be so completely on the opposite end. Well, they're saying what they're saying in order to maintain the access. Because think about it, guys, and I get it. On behalf of the Marvels and the DCs of the world, for example, if you just sit there and fucking grill a company, they're going to be obviously less likely to give you exclusive information or give you exclusive access. So maybe it's an interview. Maybe it's an early viewing. Maybe it's a early copy of the comic book. They're not going to give you that if you're just sitting here calling it trash. So when we talk about these brands and like guys like myself, when we talk about the Access Media, you have to understand what direction it is that we're coming from. And it's because they can't possibly be as honest as they want to be, or as honest as they can, definitely with a company as big as Marvel, because that would ruin the access. So yeah, they'll here and there maybe say something critical, but if they have let's say this is an example. Let's say that over a year span, the vast majority, for example, of books are like objectively speaking dog shit. Let's say they're canon breaking. Let's say they're the continuity errors. Let's say that it just makes no sense. Doesn't matter who it is. Star Wars books, Marvel books, DC books, doesn't matter. Let's just assume that's the case. Let's say they put out, let's say 10 lines during that past year. Do you think that the access media, the Voxes of the world, or more in this case, definitely when it comes to this like comic book and the IGNs, those kind of nerd culture, try to take advantage of nerd culture, access media types. Do you think they will call all 10 of them dog shit? No, they may call one of them. And even then they'll talk around it. But they got to maintain the access. What happened, unfortunately, with Ta-Nehisi Coates, which is a little side the point, but I'm going to make the point anyway. He was a guy that was a social justice advocate who just had no evidence of him even liking comic books. There's no like public evidence that he was even a comic book guy. Go look it up. Don't take my word for nothing. He's like he never even spoke about the shit until he became a writer for Marvel. He was brought specifically because he fit the bill, maybe in terms of how he looked, but more so in terms of the social political views that he had. And so and that's the state of this company right now, is they allow him to be in control of one of the most popular black characters in the history of mainstream comic books. And he had no business writing them. He had no idea what the fuck he was doing. But that's the direction that they're going in. So you have a double whammy. They can really put out garbage in, garbage out. But you think the access media are going to assess it for what it is? No. Not only are they in on the politics, unfortunately nowadays, they want to maintain the access. So when you analyze this, or rather you hear guys like myself analyze that, when we talk about the access media and why they're so quack, you have to don't think about it from your perspective, which is the perspective of a guy that has nothing to lose. You now have any access. You get it when it comes on the shelf. But when you get the information and you want to continue to get the information early, so you can, again, that's good for clicks, it's good for views, good for people going to you for the information. If you want to be able to maintain that, you got to play ball. And to act like they don't play ball is fucking, come on, bro. Let's be for real here. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.